Hey guys, welcome to another review, and here's my review for Joker Folie. Yeah, this movie, I saw this movie 5 days ago actually. I went and saw it on Thursday, literally opening night, and I meant to get this video uploaded, but I just haven't had the time. As you guys may or may not know, if you saw my review for Beetlejuice, I said that I haven't reviewed that. I was recovering from being sick, so so that's why I haven't uploaded this review yet since I first saw this movie, because I had to upload my review for Beetlejuice, but a lot of times I'm way too overdue, but actually I'm not that overdue for reviewing Joker Folie. And so, yeah, here's my review for Joker Folie, and if you guys actually don't know what that translates to, I searched it up. It's actually called Madness for Two. That's what it is. I don't know why they used French for the movie. They just like the way that sounded. I don't know, but this has been my third most anticipated movie of the year, behind Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2. If you guys watched my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2024, I put this as my third most anticipated movie of the year. And then my second favorite was Inside Out 2. My top favorite was Deadpool and Wolverine, and so yeah, I put Joker 2 at number 3, and I was really excited for this movie, but this movie was a massive letdown. A very much massive letdown, and I'm telling you, and yeah, a lot of people don't like this movie, and even I'm admitting that this movie's not very good, and I thought this movie was going to be great, actually. I had a lot of anticipation for this movie. I was really excited to see this movie. I thought it looked awesome. I watched the trailers. I was really, really pumped to go see this movie because I loved the first Joker. The first Joker was a masterpiece. I loved it. Joaquin Phoenix was awesome in that movie, and so I was like so pumped to see this movie. And such a massive disappointment. I left this theater with my head hung really low. This is one of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen. I was very disappointed by this movie, and actually, I'm going to do something a little bit different in this review. After I give the grade for the movie, if you guys have not seen it, this review will be spoiler-free, but after I give the movie a grade, I'm going to talk spoilers afterwards. So right now, it'll be spoiler-free, but after I give the grade, then I'm going to talk spoilers, because I can't talk about this movie without spoiling. I have to, but the first half of this video will be spoiler free. So if you really want to go see this movie, which honestly I wouldn't really recommend it, but if you really want to go see it, the first half is spoiler free, but then the rest of it will be spoiler. So you're safe with me. I won't spoil anything until after I give the grade. So yeah. So anyway, so in this movie is set 2 years after the first Joker, and so now he's just in Arkham Asylum, and so well, actually, like, the beginning was set like after the first one but then it was set 2 years after the first Joker. And so he's now in Arkham Asylum, and everyone hates him now because of what he did in the last movie. What he did with Murray Franklin, played by Robert De Niro. Everyone now hates him, and so he's like the biggest enemy and the biggest villain in Gotham City. And so now, like, everyone hates him now, and so he's now on trial in this movie. And then he meets the love of his life, played by Lady Gaga, Harley Quinn. And she actually is not bad in this movie. Like, the first act of this movie is good, actually. The first act is pretty good. And so he's now, as I said, also, as I heard, as you guys may know, remember, this movie was actually confirmed to be a musical, and a lot of people did not like the fact that it was going to be confirmed that it was going to be a musical. And honestly, this movie is not like a full-on musical. Like, there's not singing and dancing in it, like, throughout the entire movie. There's some musical scenes. Some of the musical scenes are okay. That's not the biggest problem I have with this movie. I do feel like at times the pacing was a mess. But, honestly, like, if it was a musical, the movie still could have been okay, actually. I would have preferred it not to be a musical, but, you know, it's still, like, some of the musical scenes were okay. But other than that, it's just, when I saw this movie, I was expecting some musical scenes, like, as everyone was saying. But, you know, and it had about the musical level of, as what I thought it would be. Some of the musical scenes are kind of long, and, I do, like the first act, the chemistry with Lady Gaga, with, Harley Quinn and Arthur Fleck in the first act is okay. The second and third act is when it started to really fall apart, and it's hard for me to review this without spoiling. All I'm just saying is the pacing was just an absolute mess. It had a weak plot and twist, and I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is still good in the movie as Arthur Fleck. Like, the first two acts are pretty good. Like, Joaquin Phoenix is still good in the movie. Harley Quinn, Lady Gaga she's fine as Harley Quinn. She's enjoyable as Harley Quinn. But it's just, towards the end of the movie is when it really starts to fall apart and it gets really disappointing. But that's when it gets really disappointing, like, towards the end of the movie. And, like, the first hour of the movie, I was actually really enjoying it. I was, like, wondering why critics were bashing this movie. I remember watching it, I was like, I think critics are misjudging this. I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed, like, the first hour of it. But then afterwards, that's when the movie really started to fall apart. And, like, after an hour and a half, I was like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. Like, I was just, like, watching it, and just, I remember, like, the last 20 minutes, I was checking my phone, I was waiting for it to end. And I remember leaving the theater with my head hung really low. I'm sorry to say this, but, I mean, even I'm saying this, and sometimes I can be a little bit more. I don't bash movies so easily, but even since I'm now telling you that this movie is not that great, should really say something, because I was so excited to see this movie. You know, this is one of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen. You know, this isn't the only time. You know, this happens a lot. As I don't know if you know, but if you guys, I did a list of top 10 movies that I thought were supposed to be amazing, like I wanted to like, but just were not good. And so, I would put this movie in the list. If you guys haven't seen it, that's one of my, I did that video last year. This is one of them. This would be one of them. I'm thinking about maybe doing it updated, maybe top 20, now that the fact that, because of Joker 2. I just don't know what else to say. I was really bummed out by this movie, and I'm just reviewing it without spoiling, and so, yeah, all I'm just saying, the plot was just very, just had an overwhelming plot, it had an overwhelming plot, and the story was just, it had an overwhelming plot and story and twist, and the pacing was just an absolute mess. I was like, before this movie came out, I remember it had, when it was premiering a month earlier, this movie had lost, 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now it's at 33%. It really dropped low. Really, really dropped low. And when I saw that, but I didn't really trust Rotten Tomatoes, because the first one got it, but it was in the high 60s, low 70s, which I don't agree with. It should be a lot higher, because I love the first Joker. But but when but when IMDb was giving it a low score, that's when I'm like, okay, that says something, because I trust IMDb more than I trust Rotten Tomatoes, because there are some movies out there where IMDb gave it a good score but Rotten Tomatoes didn't. I trust IMDb more, and so when IMDb was saying the movie wasn't good, that's when I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my god, please, I'm hoping they're wrong. And because IMDb loved the first Joker, but Rotten Tomatoes thought it was just only okay, but IMDb loved the first Joker. And IMDb loved the first Joker, so. But now the fact that they really went down IMDb, now it's at like a 5.3 last time I checked. It was at a 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb. That's pretty bad for an IMDb score, because a lot of times IMDb is not harsh on movies like Rotten Tomatoes can be. And now the fact that the score went down to 33% on Rotten Tomatoes is just, I don't know what they were thinking for this movie. I don't know what they were thinking. I really wanted to see a Joker 2, because I really wanted to see what would happen next. And what they did was just an absolute waste. And so I thought critics were misjudging this movie when the first hour, but then afterwards I was like, okay, I can kind of understand why they don't like it. And so, because sometimes there are a lot of movies out there where I don't agree with the critics. Sometimes, like, from time to time, the critics can be wrong about movies, and, you know, they can be wrong quite a bit. And so I wasn't really fully trusting them, because I really thought this movie was going to be great. I genuinely thought this movie was actually going to be a fun time. Before the reviews came out, I was expecting it to be almost as good as the first one, but then when it got like a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, I was like, okay, maybe it may not be good as the first one. But I expected it to go higher, though, because I expected more positive reviews, and I expected the reviews to go higher on IMDb, but no, they went lower. And I expected the Rotten Tomatoes score to be close to go a little higher, but no, it went low. I was really wrong about this movie. I was expecting it to be awesome. I was expecting this to be one of the best movies of the year, but no. It was a massive letdown. I was expecting to give this movie a great score, and this movie was such a massive letdown. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm going to give Joker Folie a D. I'm really disappointed in saying that. I'm really, really disappointed in saying that, because I really wanted to like this movie. But trust me, I'm really disappointed in saying that. Even I'm saying I'm giving it a D. The fact that I didn't like this movie should really say a lot. So, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. So, anyway, so that was my review, my spoiler-free review for Joker Folie à Deux. So, now that I reviewed the spoiler-free review, this review, now the other half of the review is going to contain spoilers. So, if you're really looking forward to seeing this movie and you're really excited to, then I guess click off from the video. But if that review convinced you enough not to see the movie and a lot of the other reviews, and if you're really trying to save money, then if you're really trying to, then I guess stick around for this review. Your call. But anyway, this will contain massive spoilers, so yeah. Anyway, so let's get started. So now that I reviewed now half of the review is done. Half of it with spoiler free. Now this is going to contain spoilers. So yeah, let's get started with the spoiler review. So I don't normally do this actually, but I'm going to do it this time, which is unusual, but I'm going to do it. So yeah. So basically now what's going on in this movie now is that he meets Harley Quinn, and they love each other, but they're only with each other just for a little bit. They're not, it's not a joke, it's only a Joker and Harley Quinn story just for a little bit, and then they just break up immediately. They don't stick around together. And Joker later, Arthur Fleck, later in the movie, it was just, he basically said, there is no Joker. And that's what Harley Quinn liked about him. She liked the Joker. But then later he's like, there is no Joker. And they immediately break up. She breaks up with him. She wanted the Joker. And she immediately broke up. It's like what? Like the whole thing that happened in the first movie was so, just pointless now. It basically ruined the first movie. Because the first movie was a masterpiece. It was an epic masterpiece. Now the fact that he's like, no, there is no Joker. All of that was Arthur. There is no Joker. All that. He is now not the Joker? What? That was supposed to be the whole prequel origin story to him becoming the Joker. It was a dark and different prequel origin story for him becoming the Joker. It was a realistic story, and now it's all ruined. It's not like that now. It was supposed to be a dark, realistic origin story to the Joker, and it's now just now it's pointless to all that. It's now pointless, seriously. And I was also never expecting what I knew was not going to happen was I knew they would never have Batman in this movie, or I didn't even think there was going to be a Joker 3. I thought it was just going to end here, and I was right, but I didn't end it the way I thought it was going to end, and a lot of other people. It ended completely different, and some people, I guess, kind of liked it that way. I hated it that way, and a lot of other people did. But there are a few people who actually liked it, and the way it ended, I did not like it, and most people didn't like it, and I agree with them. So, they killed him off. That was not supposed to be ended that way. It was not supposed to end that way. It was supposed to be a prequel origin story to the Joker, and I know Batman was never supposed to be in these movies. It was supposed to be a standalone Joker story. The closest thing that I would ever get with Batman would be the Wayne family, but I was never expecting it to be like Batman. It was a standalone Joker story. But what I was wanting it to be that way, and a lot of other people, was to kind of end this movie to end with him as the Joker, similar to the first movie, and it completely ended differently. He died. Another psychopath killed him, and then in the background, this guy carved his own face, and now, what? Is he now the new Joker? I guess he's now the new Joker. It ruined Arthur Fleck. Arthur Fleck, that whole backstory was supposed to turn him into the Joker. And, but now it's just was different. It's now what? He's just, this movie, the pacing in this movie was also a mess. And I felt like I was also basically just watching two different movies. A dark and depressing drama, and yet a full-on dancing musical. It's I felt like I was basically watching two different movies, and it was barely catching my attention. I remember the first hour, as I said earlier, I was like, why are critics misjudging this movie? I think they're wrong about this movie. And then after the hour, I'm like, oh, okay, I get why. And I really was expecting, I was wanting to like this movie, and I was not listening to the critics' reviews. I actually thought this movie was going to be great. I thought they were misjudging this movie, because there are quite a few movies out there where I disagree with the critics on. I can really, because sometimes the critics can be wrong, and they are wrong quite a bit. But this is one, but even IMDb didn't like this movie, and that says something, because I tend to agree with IMDb more than Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic. I tend to agree with IMDb more, because I'm more agreeing with IMDb than the critics and stuff. But no, I'm admitting that I wasn't a fan of this movie, and that says something. Because I really loved the first Joker story. I thought it was a perfect origin story for the Joker. But then the second movie just basically was a big slap in the face. it was like, nope. And it's basically like they were just like slapping the fans in the face and ruining it. Like, that was supposed to be, it was supposed to be a dark, different, depressing origin story for the Joker, but yet he was supposed to turn into the comic book accurate Joker, but like it changed completely. And, you know, and that's what that's what I really didn't like about this movie. The very disappointing ending. The pacing was a mess. And the fact that the Joker and Harley Quinn just broke up like immediately. It's like, that's not what I wanted to see. And the pacing, the plot, and just the story and the twist was just a mess. A massive letdown. So, yeah. I don't really have anything else to say for this spoiler review, so yeah, that's all I had to say. I had to do a spoiler review for this because I don't normally do that. I did the spoiler-free review for the first half, now I did spoilers, so I don't normally do that, but I really wanted to explain my thoughts, and I couldn't do it without spoiling. And if you actually did remain for the spoiler review, if you really didn't care, then if you're trying to save money, then so be it. But, you know, for the people who did not watch this, for the people who did not watch the spoiler review and still wanting to go see it, I hope they like it. So, yeah. I mean, if you guys liked this movie, I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you're still really, really pumped to go see this movie, maybe you'll still enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe you won't agree with me. Who knows? But I mean, I really was excited to see this movie. I put this at my third most anticipated movie of 2024. I put it behind Inside Out 2 as my second most anticipated movie of the year. My top most anticipated movie of the year was Deadpool and Wolverine. Those two movies were awesome. Deadpool and Wolverine was great. Inside Out 2 was great. I put Joker 2 at number 3, and it just was not that great. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. If you're still looking for other movies to go see out there, I'm sure there's still some other good movies out there to see. Deadpool and Wolverine's actually still in theaters. If you're still looking for good movies out there to go see, there's other movies to go see, like Deadpool and Wolverine. Present, I mean, that's still in theaters, so yeah, that was a good R-rated comic book movie. And I thought this one was going to be like one of the best movies of the year, but I didn't think it was. So yeah, anyway, that was my review for Joker Folie. So yeah, I have a few other reviews I need to upload. I'm gonna review the Wild Robot. That's gonna be my next review, and I really want to see that. I hear that movie's really great, and I'm really excited to see the Wild Robot. So hopefully that will be good. Hopefully that's another movie I can agree with the critics on, because sometimes I don't always agree with them, but I did agree with them on this movie quite a bit. And hopefully I can agree with them on the Wild Robot, because I hear the Wild Robot's actually really good. I've seen the trailer and it looks really good. I want to see it in 3D actually, because I've seen the trailer. It looks amazing. But, yeah, that'll be my next review. So did you see this movie? What were your thoughts on it? Or what's the most disappointing movie you've ever seen? What are some movies? And as I said, I did my list of my top 10 movies that I really wanted to like, that were supposed to be amazing, but yet were not very good. What are some movies that you really wanted to like, but you didn't really like? You were really disappointed by that. What are some movies you feel about that way? Like, you were like, oh, this movie's gonna be awesome. I'm really pumped to go see this. It's gonna be good. And then you watch it and you're really let down. What are some movies out there that you think are like that, that really disappointed you? Let me know down in the comment section below. Comment below, let me know. And if you like this, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like. Alright, see ya.